You see, in today's world, there is no village that is actually can claim it's isolated from what's happening in the world. Yes, our conflict, there are so many actors involved in it, in the region, but also beyond the region. There are so many people involved in this. As Sudanese, we would like to see whoever want or engage in our conflict should be a goodwill to help us resolve this conflict. Don't fuel it. And we are happy to work with whoever, happy to be a constructive player in bringing us together. This war was not or did not start by external parties. It started between the Sudanese themselves. And I think it is on us. And whoever is interfering in our crisis, we should be able to talk to them with the help of our friends and partners to design a constructive process that move this agenda forward and help us end this crisis. And I'm sure you know that in this process as Sudanese we have engaged in so many initiatives and put forward plans and strategies and all that. Certainly the group that I represent, which is called SUMUD, the Alliance of Democratic Revolutionary Forces of Sudan, we have been engaging in putting forward our own vision in how to resolve this conflict. And if time allows, I will briefly maybe outline that to you. And our vision
Can you briefly outline the vision of your initiative?
You know, to start with, we do not think there is a military solution to this conflict. We have to go through a credible political process. None of the fighting or belligerents will be able to achieve an outright victory. That's out of question. And if that is a foregone conclusion, why prolong the suffering of our people? We are putting forward a vision of three components. Number one and most important entry point is to be able to address the humanitarian crisis. People life, people want to have food, shelter, medicine before anything else. So you have to keep them alive. So this is number one priority in the vision. The two others address the issue of stopping the war and ending the war. These are two different processes. Stopping the war is probably more technical process, which involve ceasefires, issues of modalities of monitoring and all that, corridors for supply lines and all this. But ending the war is a political process, which would require extensive, comprehensive dialogue. And in Sumud, we are proposing a roundtable conference that brings all the major actors, all those who were against the war and for peace and restoration of transition, democratic transition. So this is broadly speaking our vision to stop this war.
You're talking about people who want peace. You have belligerents. How do you bring the belligerents at the table? Because if you don't, you exclude them, they will continue with the fight. How do you ensure that both sides lay down their arms and they joined the peace negotiations or political program?
There are many approaches to this. The direct one is talking to them. This vision I'm talking about, almost a year ago, we wrote to both generals. General Hemeti accepted our call. He came, met with us in Addis Ababa. We signed with him Addis Declaration. We wrote to General Burhan, yet to meet with us. but we are not giving up on that. But this is one aspect of how we engage them. The most important aspect of putting pressure on the belligerents, first is by creating a broad front by the Sudanese people themselves. The widest possible political grouping, alliance of people against the war. The more we expand this, the more that voice becomes stronger in Sudan, in the diaspora, in the refugee camps and all that. This will put pressure on them. The third aspect, and this is where we thought South Africa could play a role in this, is our regional, international partners and international community to put pressure on both sides so that they can accept ceasefire and go through a political process that will bring peace back to our country.
And finally, your message to the African continent. Sudan is a member of this region, Africa. Your message to Africans, do you think they really understand and they see and hear the humanitarian crisis in Sudan and people dying daily?
Thank you so much for this. Sudan, a founding member of the OAU and the AU, I think our expectations from our brothers and sisters at all levels, leadership and the public in the continent, to help us address this crisis. But also I must so commend many countries in the continent and even beyond generously received our people as refugees in many places, in Egypt, in Chad, South Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, in the neighborhood, but also beyond, in the Gulf, in UAE, in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, even here in South Africa and beyond, and probably even in Europe and others. I would like to thank that, and I would like to thank all the efforts that went into this. But we are looking for much more engagement that will help us end this crisis today before tomorrow.